Somewhere beneath the walls of the smallest state on earth, there is a room that has never been photographed in full. A room that holds the private letters of kings, the confession of a scientist forced to his knees, and the last words of a queen before her execution. For centuries, only a handful of human beings have ever been allowed to walk through its doors. This is not a myth, this is real, and what's kept inside has shaped the course of history itself. Welcome to the story of the Vatican Secret Archive. To understand why this place became one of the greatest mysteries on the planet, you first need to understand a single word: secretum. In modern English, secret means hidden, forbidden, something meant to stay in the dark. But in Latin, the word secretum meant something different. It meant private, personal, belonging to someone, not open to the public. The Pope's secretum was never meant to be a vault of dark conspiracies. It was, quite simply, his private collection, the way a king might have a private study, or a family might keep letters no stranger has the right to read. But somewhere between the Latin meaning and the modern imagination, private became secret in the most sinister sense of the word. And once people believed the Vatican was hiding something, they never stopped wondering what. The archive as we know it was formally established in 1612. Under Pope Paul V. Before that date, papal documents existed, but they were scattered, stored in different buildings, vulnerable to fire, war and theft. Paul V. made a decision that would change history. He ordered the Church's most important documents to be gathered into one place and separated from the Vatican Library itself. This single act created something unprecedented, a centralized memory of the Catholic Church, stretching back over 1,000 years, protected behind reinforced doors. The scale of what sits inside is almost impossible to comprehend. Historians estimate the archive holds somewhere around 53,000 meters of shelving. If you tried to walk past every shelf end to end, you would need to travel a distance longer than most marathons. Millions of individual documents, correspondence, legal rulings, diplomatic records, some of it dating back to the 8th century. It is, without exaggeration, one of the largest and oldest continuous archives in human history, and within those shelves lie documents that changed the fate of nations. In 1530, a desperate letter arrived in Rome. It came from King Henry VIII of England, a monarch obsessed with producing a male heir, trapped in a marriage he no longer wanted. Henry needed the Pope to annul his marriage to Catherine of Aragon, so English bishops and nobles signed a petition, begging Rome to grant the king his freedom. That petition still exists today, sealed with dozens of wax seals, kept exactly as it was when it left England nearly 500 years ago. The Pope said no. And that single refusal set off a chain of events that gave birth to the Church of England, and forever divided Christianity in Europe. Paper, it turns out, can start revolutions. Elsewhere in the archive rests a very different kind of paper trail. In 1633, an agging astronomer named Galileo Galilei was brought before the Roman Inquisition. His crime was daring to say the earth revolved around the sun. Forced to kneel, forced to recant everything he believed to be true, Galileo's trial records were preserved in full. His testimony, his forced confession, the Church's official judgment against him. For centuries, this case became a symbol of the tension between science and faith. Today, historians use these very documents to understand exactly what happened in that room, word for word, without myth or exaggeration. Not every document in the archive tells a story of power. Some tell a story of fear. In February of 1587, Mary, Queen of Scots, wrote what would become her final letter, hours before she was executed on the orders of Elizabeth I. In it she pleaded for her soul, asking that her death be recognized as a matter of faith, not treason. That letter made its way into the Vatican's care, a fragile piece of paper carrying the last thoughts of a woman who knew she was about to die. Reading her words today, historians say, is like hearing a whisper across 5 centuries, but perhaps no document connected to the archive carries more legend than the chin on parchment. In the year 1307, King Philip IV of France moved against the Knights Templar, the legendary military order that had grown wealthy and powerful since the Crusades. Templar knights were arrested, tortured, and accused of heresy. Many believed Pope Clement V had condemned them completely. But in 2001, a Vatican researcher named Barbara Frail rediscovered a document that had been misfiled for centuries, the chin on parchment. It revealed that in 1308, the Pope had secretly absolved the Templar leaders of heresy, even as the French king pushed forward with their destruction. For nearly 700 years, that truth had been sitting quietly in the archive, waiting to be found. Stories like this one that fuel the imagination. If one forgotten parchment could rewrite what we thought we knew about the Templars, what else might be sitting in the dark, unread? This is where fact gives way to legend. Over the decades, countless theories have grown around the archive's locked doors. Some claim it holds evidence of extraterrestrial contact, secret star charts, proof that the Church has known about visitors from beyond our world. Others whisper about lost books of the Bible, forbidden prophecies, or even physical remnants of ancient. In 2019, the Vatican made a symbolic decision. Pope Francis officially renamed the collection from the Vatican Secret Archive to the Vatican Apostolic Archive. The documents didn't change, the history inside didn't change, but the name did, an attempt to shed centuries of suspicion built around a single misunderstood word. And yet, even with a new name, the fascination hasn't faded, because somewhere in those 53,000 meters of shelving, there are still documents no modern historian has fully read, letters that haven't been translated, records that haven't been cross-referenced. In an age where almost everything feels instantly accessible, the Vatican Apostolic Archive remains something rare. A genuine physical mystery built not from conspiracy, but from the sheer overwhelming weight of human history itself. Perhaps that's the real secret. Not aliens, not hidden prophecies. Just time, patience, and the quiet possibility that somewhere in the dark, another chin on parchment is still waiting to be found. If you enjoyed uncovering this piece of hidden history, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more stories the world forgot, and let me know in the comments which secret you'd want uncovered next.